During the emergency, which Aqil talked about, there was a blackout on almost all media houses. What did students do? Armed with phones, they recorded demonstrations and put them up as podcasts. And I remember I personally was out of the country, and I could view those videos.
If you spend enough time in cyberspace, there's so many mailing lists and Yahoo groups on Pakistani politics with thousands of members. So you can there are these spaces where you can get some attention, and then over time you can start to get more and more attention. The fact that I really believe that if someone like Hamid Mir or Shahid Masood or Kashif Abbasi or Talat Hussain, if someone like them gets 50 emails on an issue, that hey, look, local governments, for example, it's a huge issue. I mean, look at you're restructuring administration at such a basic level, and there's been so little debate on this issue in the media. And if somebody were to write, well, not somebody, I've done it, but if somebody like Talat Hussain got 100 emails saying, hey, what's wrong with you? I mean, why don't you do so good? You've been doing many good talk shows, but why are you missing this issue? I think sending a few dozen emails can really make a difference.
Speaking of email campaigns, we also have Mukhtar Ahmed, who's the executive director of something called CPDI.
What I started doing is that in whatever issues I had interest, and I had interest in issues like freedom of information, police reforms, parliamentary reforms, and so on. So I kind of collected email addresses and started sending these emails. But not just the emails, you get a lot of trash, So sending just any email doesn't make much sense. Unless, what Aqil has also been talking a lot, that, you do a lot of reading and you have something useful to say, something which is based on research and which is insightful. So in small way, that is what we were doing, We would basically look at the data, we would collect information. Emails, a little bit of research, creative ideas can really make a difference. And our story in a small way is also something which illustrates that. And the last point that, we actually, these small successes needs to be talked about a lot.
When we analyze history, we have to take into account these global factors. And a recent example is of President Obama's election. When he got elected, he was seen as a man of change for the whole world, not just for United States. But with the global recession or the global economic meltdown, he had to change his priorities. And now we see him or his administration a little more restrained on the promises that they had made before elections. So that's my just a comment, that when we are analyzing history, we have to see the global intellectual trends or factors that do affect these policies, state policies.
जब हम मीडिया को डिस्कस करते हैं तो उसमें अगर हमें 30 या 40 लोग नज़र आते हैं तो ये वो लोग हैं जिनकी लिस्ट जो है उन्हें प्रोवाइड की जाती है.
अगर ये मीडिया इस तरह से नहीं रिफॉर्म किया जा सकता तो मीडिया से पहले भी तहरीकें चलती थीं. वो कहते हैं सीना गज़ट होता था किसी ज़माने में. 60s में तो चैनल्स नहीं थे एंड येट मूवमेंट्स took place. So ये भी एक लर्निंग की बात है कि अगर मीडिया को हम नहीं फिक्स कर सकते तो getting around it.
For an active citizen, the argument that I don't know the right people is not valid. Of course, if you're starting thinking, I might exaggerate, you're thinking of the caste system, you're born in a high caste and I know the right people and then everything works fine. No, it's not. I mean, of course we are born in one or other family, but as a liberal and with the understanding that everybody has equal opportunities, we can work for that. I mean, also for networking, the saying that success is 10% inspiration and 90% transpiration is valid. You can work for that, for networking and knowing the right people, also in a planned and a strategic way, this is possible.
The phenomena of blogging in Pakistan, how widespread it is, as per what I know, actively maybe there are not more than 30 to 40 blogs that are in very active domain. And then again, regarding blogs, you would see there are certain blogs who would have very good content, but the viewership and the feedback is very less. and there would be blogs where the content, it would be very, not very substantive or a very populist mindset, but the feedback would be enormous. So how can one go about making a blog successful in terms of, generating feedback?
मुझे ये समझ आती है कि we keep meeting people, नए लोगों से interact करते रहें, and eventually, I mean, जैसे जैसे हमें और interested लोग मिलें, उस तरह से उस तरह से हमारा ज़्यादा एक network बने contacts का, and then maybe we can have हम मतलब अगर कोई blog वगैरह बनाना चाहते हैं तो at least on any given issue इतनी बड़ी तादाद में लोग जब when there are so many Pakistanis, तो on any given issue कुछ लोग तो interested ज़रूर होंगे ही.
So as anchor, it's very difficult for them to distinguish कि भाई email genuine है.
It is very important that you follow up consistently with your genuine efforts. Thank you, Aqil, for sharing your views. Thank you, everyone.